Hello and welcome to the Zoomcast. Get your phone in silent, Donners. As you can see from, once again, the lovely video introduction, joined by the usual suspects, plus Davy Mains, and we're also delighted to have Stephen Craig with us, double championship winning Stephen Craig, I should say.
Absolutely, yeah.
So thanks very much for giving up your Saturday morning to spend it with us. How are we all feeling today? And what should be another glorious Saturday with no football?
Same old day, same old, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, I'm at Firhill. Sorry, I don't know where you lot are. I'm waiting for you. Sitting in the bang.
Yes, how you doing that?
David, there's no one in that stadium and you probably would still miss. Come on.
Harsh. Fair.
Not harsh.
Harsh.
In fact, that goal there was the first goal that Stephen scored at Firhill, wasn't it? He's rocket from 2 inches out against Hamilton. Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Aye. Mm-hmm. Come on, am I right in remembering Stephen come on as a sub, didn't he? And scored twice in about 10-15 minutes, wasn't it?
Yes, I was it Dools? I think Dools had pulled his hammy. So I think I went on just for half time, I think.
That's right, aye. Mm-hmm. That was it, the infamous Hamilton keeper. Trying to was it clearing it, wasn't it?
Aye. That's right, aye. Did it finish? Was it 3-1 that game?
Was it 4? Was it 3-0? 4-0?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. We turned that. I mean, that season, as you well know, I mean, we turned over that many teams that year because I was the Thistle Twitter feed I've been doing sort of previous games. Funnily enough, just after you'd agreed to come on, right. I went onto Twitter and the first thing that I saw was you scoring against Livingston in the was it 6 or 7 or whatever it was. It was the first goal that I saw after it.
Do you know
when you think back to that season, though, I mean, I had a look through it. I can't remember the last Thistle striker that had a strike rate that you had, Stephen. That was, what was it, 13 goals in 25 league games and 15 goals in 30, a strike rate of 1 and 2. I can't remember a Thistle striker having that.
It was, I got the fortunate thing, like I hit the ground running. Obviously, I came on loan for Ross County and I hadn't played a game. We went away to Holland for a pre-season tour, and even through the course of the pre-season, I knew I wasn't in Derek's plans. So when the chance came to go to Partick, I jumped at it really, obviously, because it's always been kind of a strong tie in my family with my dad being there. And fun enough, my mum always said, even before I joined, she had a funny feeling that I would have some sort of affiliation or I would play with Partick one day. So when I actually got the phone call for Jackie just to say, look, would you be interested in coming? And then I think it was 2 hours later, I was driving down 89. So, and it was, like you say, when you join a team, especially on loan, you want to hit the ground running, and I've done that. It was like it was meant to be, really.
Yep. Aye.
You know, when you say there, what was the score against Hamilton? You know, it's kind of unusual for us to forget that kind of stuff because there was so many big score lines. You know, we were humping teams left, right and centre at the beginning of that season, weren't we? Was it the first 8 or 9 we won? And I think, was it just a last minute equaliser? Dools got at Starks Park at the end of their 100% record. And we were banging the goals in left, right and centre. It must be a good team to play with, Stephen.
The Accies game was 4-0. Welshie after 41 minutes, Steph 56 and 86, and Stevie Lawless 65.
There you go.
That's it. It was, I noticed straight away, especially in training, I think training's obviously hard to judge because you came across plenty of training ground players, but even in training ground games, I remember my first week, end of my first week, it was just like the amount of positive things Jackie would do in training. And I think what some of the boys said, it was quite similar to what he got at Celtic, a lot of like small-sided games, and then we always finish like with young v old or things like that. And as the games were going on, I think after 2 or 3 games, I remember saying, like my dad said to me, is like going forward, use a lot of devastating. And when you think about it, if you look at like all the attacking prowess in the team at the time and what they've went on to go on, but we were spoiled.
Yeah.
We really were spoiled. You had obviously, you had Squiddy, you had Lawless, you had Dools, you had myself, even like Ross Forbes when he came in, even as for a midfielder, you had Big Aaron Muirhead, who never missed a penalty. You had Welsh would chip in, you had Connie would chip in, like all around the pitch. Like I think, was that season everybody in that team or every position scored?
Everybody scored.
Yes.
Is that right? Everybody scored.
That's right. Yep.
So
That's
the
right.
fullbacks were fantastic as well. I mean, O'Donnell and ETS and the other sides. I mean, that was such an attacking team.
We had you've heard managers and coaches talk about blends and formations and stuff like that. We had Jackie basically just let us go and play. He'd organise us and Sid obviously would give us wee pointers and things like that. And we'd just go and play. And you had people that could do both. You had Pates who would sit in the middle of the park and just dictate things. You had two centre halves who were dominant, and like you says, you had ATS and Sod on the right, who obviously both of them went on to have great careers. But going forward, they were devastating, but they could defend as well. So and like you says, that the amount of times, especially start at Firhill, we blew teams away in the first half hour, like high scoring games, really high scoring games.
Yeah,
and
so many that season.
I was going to say, and Foxy, we never mentioned Foxy in there, obviously not an attacking player, but an absolute shot stopper in his day, and that would take the stuffing out of some teams when you're going forward, you're creating so many chances, and they got a wee half chance, and he's pulling things out the top corner. He was something else back then.
When you as a goalkeeper, I've always looked at it as a goalkeeper, they make the saves when they have to, and I think it's a great point you've made. We knew if the game was tight, if it was a 0-0, or even if we were down, that we could rely on Foxy to make that save. And it's hard to have that sort of mentality and that belief through a full squad where you know every position, you have faith in everybody in every position, and obviously it goes on to show, just like obviously went on to win the league and thoroughly deserved.
Yeah.
I think it was a team that grew in confidence through the season because they all trusted each other. They did stuff. They if they made a few mistakes or whatever, fair enough. But they kept going and they kept trying stuff. Some of the football, when you watch it back, is just brilliant. And they grew in confidence during the season.
It was when I think it was. I want to say Dumbarton. We played at home.
Aye.
I think I got sent off. I think.
Really? What was
I can
that?
remember. I'm sure it was Dumbarton at home. And I can remember we were winning. It wasn't enough. It was first half, and I can remember there was groans for the crowd, and the boys were getting on to each other and stuff like this. And then when you look back at the time, I was thinking to myself like stop the bus here, like we're winning and things like that. But when you have that expectation, it shows you how well the team's doing on the park. It was a belief, and you had young boys. I know it's been well documented. You had young boys who'd been released for big clubs, but they had a hunger and desire, and I think that's missing for the game nowadays. I think you had boys like Lawless who'd been released for Motherwell, Welsh for Hibs, Connie for Hearts, and they just wanted to go and achieve. They were hungry boys. They wanted to go and win things and do well, and it was just you've got to really put your hands up and say how well Jackie done, like recruiting, because like I say, as a manager, you live and die by your recruitment, and I thought Jackie he got it spot on.
Would you put yourself?
You guys, sorry, Donald. Go on.
That's right, Davey. I was going to say, sorry, Stephen. Would you put yourself in that sort of same bracket of players as not being released per se, but maybe not finding yourself in the manager's plans at your previous club?
It was, I think, as a player, you always want to play. And my season before, it'd been really frustrating because I'd started the season really, really well, and then I got sent off against Livingston and got an 8-game ban.
8 games? What did you do?
Jags, you got to explain that one.
I actually done nothing. I actually done nothing. I had video evidence clearing me of so-called violent conduct, but yeah, I still got a 9-game ban. So I'd went. I think it was after the 4th game of the season, and I did a really good pre-season. I started the season well, and then the boys went on and just, like it says, they won the championship year. So I was a bit bad player, and then obviously going to pre-season, it was plain that I wasn't going to be part of Derek Adams' plans. So, like I says, I hit the ground. I was hungry. Just what the point I was touching on there. I was hungry to go and achieve, and like I said, I think it was going to Partick. I felt a wee bit. Well, I really need to go and do and achieve here, because obviously things that my dad had done and the affiliation through the family. So it was.
Was there an extra pressure, Stephen, on you because your dad had been, had done so well at Thistle? Did you feel any extra pressure on you?
Probably. I can remember my first day. I walked in and I went through the main door, and I was greeted by a wee Chico at the bottom, and I was and I was saying to him, I was like, "Hi, can I have some kit, please?" And he was like, "What for?" And I says, "I'm here to train." And then for about 5 minutes, he just kept me at the bottom of the stairs, like winding me up, and then he said to me, he says, "Your dad wouldn't have asked for kit; he'd have just took it." Or something like that. And then I walked to the top of the stairs, and Robert Reid was standing there, and then he started telling me stuff about my dad. And then and then the ironic thing was the doc was standing in the tunnel as well, and he came up to me and he went, "Do you know my first job as a Partick Thistle doctor was to give your dad an injection?" So basically 15 minutes he'd been in Farrell. It was like, all right, welcome to the family. I better produce here, aye.
I was just going to ask about because there were some interesting photographs posted on social media of the bunch of boys that were travelling from Edinburgh every day in one car. You seem to be sharing. Although I'm not sure. I think Welshie seems to have slept most of the time. But surely that's part of the team bonding.
We formed a cartel quite soon, so it was myself, James Craig, and Welshie and Conrad, and it was a good laugh. It was a good laugh at times. Welshie and Jai say they liked a wee sleep. I don't know if it was Conrad's banter, but
probably.
Nah, it was a good. I've forgotten all about them. I've forgotten all about those videos. But Stephen, just when you're talking about your dad, I'm old enough to remember your dad's the partnership with him and Dougie Somner. Amazing early 70s. He was a brilliant player, and I was also at the game when he played for Scotland against Sweden. Came on, scored without even touching the ball with his feet, scored with a header. Never played again for Scotland. Really, I've never understood how we never got a further cap after that.
We've spoken about that a few times. My dad's really honest, and I think at the time that Scotland had an abundance of top quality strikers, with Andy Gray and Joe Jordan and stuff like this. And I think that was a time where you never carried 5, 6, 7 subs in your team. So they were the players at the time, the strikers at the time were doing it at the highest level. Nowadays, he probably would have got more an opportunity. So. But at least
no, you're probably right. Mid 70s. I mean, we had so much talent, and Scotland should have done better at that time. So I suppose, yeah. But I mean, what a debut though!
It's a frightening debut. Funny enough, I've got the cap and I've still got the strip that he wore that day. So it's and like I said, I was never fortunate enough to represent my country, and my father done that. So really proud moment. And it's funny how obviously he's told me about the goal and how he was when he headed it, he was down on his knees. He actually couldn't see the football; he'd lost it in the floodlights.
I always remember it as a sort of a fantastic diving header, but he was down, but he couldn't quite see where it was coming from.
He says he lost the ball when the ball was crossed. He lost the ball in the headlight in the floodlights, and he was just trying to, and he just remembered that all of a sudden it was there, and he headed it. But he says as he headed that I think the Swedish defender stood on his knee. So he says when he was celebrating, it was like celebrating, but like going at the same time. So.
See that team that you played in, Steve.
Mhm.
Is that one of these things that's just a once in a lifetime that you just get a group of boys to just blend the way they did and play that kind of football? Is that is it one of the best teams that you've played in, or is it the best team?
I think the fortunate thing, it was only for 7 or 8 months.
Yeah.
And I would love to have stayed longer. So look back, and it was a magical time for me. But everything just clicked. We keep going back to the fact that there was a family connection there. The way that we won the league, people came out and said you'll not win anything with kids. We just had everything was right. And I look back on it, and it's probably one of my happiest periods that I played. Because obviously you've contributed and just part of a really, really good bunch. And there was a shame, obviously, that Jackie couldn't have stayed, but obviously he left. He couldn't have knocked back Dundee United job, and then actually came in and just kept the wheel rolling, really. Winning the league, it was kind of bittersweet for me, obviously, because
You're obviously
you get told before
you never get kept on for the next season, and I don't understand it myself.
I don't think anybody understood it.
Mm-hmm.
The disappointing thing for me was I'd been approached by Wickham in February to see if I'd be interested in going, and I think the last day of the deadline in January, I'd obviously agreed to stay at Thistle.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to have another crack at the Premier League, and Partick Thistle would be ideal. So I kind of had to say no, but maybe to Wickham. And then I think what disappointed me was the manner that I was told, because we played in the Challenge Cup final. I think that was on a Sunday.
Yep.
And obviously disappointing. And then we're playing Morton that Tuesday. Was that right? Is it Tuesday or the Wednesday?
Well,
Yeah,
Tuesday or Wednesday, midweek anyway.
Aye. And
That's
going
right.
through the game, I found out via the press that I wasn't playing. I wasn't starting the game.
Oh.
And then leading up to the game, I wasn't told that I wasn't playing, obviously. And disappointing thing, I got captain this side the last half dozen games up until because Casey had done his knee.
Captain for 5 games, yep.
That's right.
Yeah, so, and then I was delighted that the boys had won the game, but at the same time, I just thought it was weird how the press knew I wasn't playing, but I didn't.
Aye.
And then I think the following Thursday, I knew myself, but the following Thursday, I actually said, like, wouldn't be keeping you. There was no reasons given, and I was gutted. I was bitterly disappointed, because obviously we'd won the league, I'd got a great rapport with the fans, and got on really well with the lads. So I kind of had to go back to Wickham with my tail between my legs, really.
But that's
how it happened. I know I've been asked numerous times, was it money or was it had I better offers elsewhere? I did have a few offers about 2 or 3 weeks before we won the league. But I was just, my sole aim was I just wanted to stay at Partick, really. Unfortunately, never happened.
We had, as fans, only just forgiven you anyway for putting us out of the Challenge Cup with 2 penalties for Ross County 2 years previously.
That's right.
No, we were just getting round to giving them.
No, I think by the end of December we'd forgiven him after the Wraith Rovers game. We nearly threw it away, and Steph scored right at the very end.
Listen, I just wanted to share a screen, Stephen. I've actually got some of your goals here. Kind of playing for us at the time. Obviously, you mentioned that Hamilton ones. So I'll just share these with everybody just now. There's no audio or anything like this, but maybe you can just talk us through some of the things.
This was, I think this was my first goal. That's
right.
Just tried to take it off.
You don't miss there, do you?
Nah.
Unless you're Davy Mains, go on. Somebody say it.
Oh, that's a crack. I forgot about that one. It's a belter off the goalkeeper.
Their keeper had done well that day, didn't he? I can remember that. He complained about
I can remember it. It's
goal.
coming back to me now.
What a finish.
Is that our first loss, Morton?
Yeah.
Well, 1-0 up, and then Shuggy.
Well, of course.
Somebody forgot to tell me it wasn't playing for St Mirren.
You know, Stephen. See, when you look at all these goals, you just know the service is coming, don't you?
Is he still there?
I just in the right position all the time.
Just say, you look at the movement as well. You know, for a lot of these.
Yeah, all different types of goals as well. Kind of.
There we go, we're back.
Tap-ins.
We're back. I will just say, Steve Donners was saying, all different types of goals that he scored as well. Where is he?
I think the screen sharing's causing them to crash.
Oh, is that right? Hold on.
You want to pause?
Oh, we had a malfunction here, have we?
Have you broken the internet, Andrew?
You got it?
Right. Stephen's back.
That's it.
Back.
Saying a lot of different goals.
Stephen, we were just saying all different types of goals, and you're always in the right place. It must have been really encouraging knowing the service was always coming.
Like, it's just we had so many areas where we could create, and the way that Jackie kind of set up my team. I had Lawless, I had Squiddy, I had Pates, I had Ross Forbes. I had like just all the great opportunities. I knew every game I was going to get 3 or 4 good chances. And it was just, like he says, just going on the pitch. I hit the ground running, going on the pitch. I just you were confident, and you were sitting top of the league, and everybody was out to get you. I kind of loved that. Have that mentality there.
You see, when you look at that side, when you're playing in that side, did you think that they could compete well at the Premier League at the top level at that point? I mean, I know that Archie, I think famously the first game of the next season against the United, I think every starting player had played in the Championship that season. Did you think they could compete?
Yeah, without a doubt. Obviously, with an introduction, maybe a couple of more experienced players, maybe Premier League players at the time. But there was no doubt in my mind that if the team that won the league, if they kept the exact same squad, I know even the thing that I found quite strange is that they let Andy Dowie go as well, which to me was really, really strange, because Dowser came in and never put a foot wrong. For obviously coming from Dunfermline, so
Jordan McMillan.
Jordan McMillan, aye. So that squad would have competed in the Premier League, no problem at all.
Good stuff. So what about the dressing room? Because everyone says it was a really good title, really good lads. What was the culture like? Was it good nights out and stuff like that?
It was, but like I said, we had a few car schools. We had Bud Slaney was in for a bit.
Careful, guys. Careful.
He wasn't as mad then as he was now. But we just had a really good changing room. We had Christmas night out was organised. Obviously, I had nothing to do with it. So I was down in Liverpool. I was fancy dressed on the Sunday. So I can imagine there's some famous pictures. I think the best one was Squiddy. He had the rollerblades on, a multicoloured Mohican and a mankini.
Oh no!
That picture is available on Twitter. I'm not going to share it, but it is available on Twitter.
I think
you'll never sleep again.
I think you got nominated a player, and you had 20 quid to dress him. Shuggy Murray got me, and I think his missus went and bought me. It was a black leotard with a pink tutu and a pink vest. So.
That's right. I was going to say you were the ballerina, weren't you?
Aye. The car school. So I think Conrad, Welshie, who else? Conrad, Welshie, Jai C, and somebody else were the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
And all I can say is Jai C, like, I don't know, there was a bit in that night where a few boys were beginning to question which way he was going. So.
To be fair, I think they're better looking than the Spice Girls.
I wouldn't be happy, right?
What about you at that time, Stephen? Is there any goal that stands out for you from that period?
I think the semi-final goal against Cowdenbeath.
Absolutely.
That's probably it's the most I've seen Jackie animated, actually, because I think it was the first cup final in so many years.
Right.
It was a great goal. It was a great goal because it was a good bit of play in the middle of the park. And I think Squiddy rolled the ball into me, and I dummied it about 25 yards out and just up my run. And I think it was Lawless.
Lawless.
It was Stevie Lawless, definitely.
I cut it back, and you can see by the celebrations. I know it wasn't. I know Central Park at the time wasn't the best place, but there was a great atmosphere that day, and that was probably my favourite goal for Thistle.
And probably one of the biggest moments of the season, maybe the turnaround, was when Jackie left to go to Dundee United and then Archie got the job. Can you tell us how from your kind of point of view, how that came about and how the players responded and stuff? Because obviously we kicked on and looked like took it to the next level, didn't we?
They did. Jackie, I think the Tuesday before Jackie left, he pulled me in training and says, like, I've been offered the Dundee United job. And I think he said the only way he would ever leave Thistle if he was offered the Celtic, Dundee United or the Hibs jobs, I think, because their infrastructure was in place at the time. And I just said to him, I said to him, there's no way you can knock that back, Jackie. It's as a manager, I don't think you can ever rest on your laurels. And then our next game was against Morton at Capello, and I can remember in the press leading up to it, I was just backing the board to give it to Archie, even though he got rid of it at the end of the season. So we were just like, you've got to give it to Archie, keep the ball rolling, and it just, you can see, I think Squiddy scored quite early on that game, and then everybody ran over to Archie.
That's right.
So it was a perfect transition with Jackie leaving. Obviously Archie had been playing in and out at the time, and he was doing coaching, he was taking young boys, and he just took on the mantle, and nothing was disrupted really, because obviously the respect and everybody liked Archie and that. So there was no new faces coming in, there was no upheaval. It was a perfect transition.
We celebrated that draw like a win. Even though Shuggy get sent off again because he forgot he was.
You always get sent off.
He forgot he wasn't playing for St Mirren.
No, it was a half sending off.
It was tough. But no, certainly the fan. I remember the stadium being really packed that day, absolutely jam packed.
The kind of ran it. We were holding on at the end, weren't we, a bit?
Aye, but
it's a good point. Kept it going. You know.
Aye.
Well, I always thought with Archie, he was a kind of like up and at him defender, wasn't he? He wasn't really, cultured in the way he played football. He was just a good old-fashioned style player. But when you look at the brand of football that his teams played, he was all for that. And I just wonder how that fit. Was it really just a case of like he believed in what the guys were doing and he adopted that, or do you think that was always part of his mentality?
I can only really speak for obviously the time that I worked underneath him, and they never changed anything. They just kept what Jackie had said they'd kind of put in place. And then obviously looking when he went up to Premier League, the type of players that he signed, it was very opposite to what he was. He'd obviously a philosophy. He wanted ball players, he wanted cultured players that knew the game. So, like I says, I think people think if a player going into management, you'll manage the same way that you played. And I think Archie showed that that doesn't always prevail.
Good stuff. Brilliant.
It was what you call it. You must have been sitting back though, Stephen, at the start of the following season, and then as the season went on, with Thistle looking for the outside, going, Jesus, I get swapped for John Baird.
No, I was going to say that, and I just thought, no, I'll just leave it out, because John Bair's a good football player, but he was hopeless with us. No, he was just hopeless with us, I regret because I wasn't there. It was none. Obviously, we know it's none to do with Beard. Then I've got a lot of time for Beard. I really like Beard as a player. It was just the way, like,
you always, football's a merited game, and I think I deserved a crack at the Premier League with Partick Thistle, but at the same time, I was mature enough and long enough in the tooth to know that football is a ruthless industry, and it basically paved the way for me to go down south to England, where I'd always wanted to go and give it a bash. And obviously the first season wasn't ideal, but with a magical second season and got to the playoff final. So things work out for you.
And you're still playing?
No. I
You're
actually
not?
hung up the boots a couple of years ago, mate. Aye.
Right,
I
okay.
think I had enough.
What are you up to just now, Steph? Tell us about your current gainful employment.
Gainful employment. So for the last 2.5 years, I've been working for a kids coaching company called Planet Soccer. So we're based in the West Lothian, Edinburgh area.
Cool.
I think we said off air that we've got another ex-Jag that works for us. Danny Lennon does work for us. We've also got Alan Mabry on board and a few of the Clyde young boys. So we've got a really good coaching business going. It's going on great. And alongside that, I'm up at Dundee United taking under 15s in their academy. So they've just been made elite status a few months ago. So coaching wise, it's going really great, and it's great to be working for two good companies, really, working for Planet Soccer and working for Dundee United.
Great, good.
Brilliant. Good to hear.
We had some questions. I can remember one of them, which was Hoosier, who was asking who was I think we all know the answer to this. I think we know what Steph's going to say here, but who was the dressing room clown?
Who wasn't in the dressing room clown?
Or who was the biggest?
With loads of characters. Obviously, Conrad is a big dafty.
Aye.
I think that was that season, even as fans, that everybody was having a laugh, everybody was enjoying themselves, everybody was a good group. Do you know what I mean? You could see that on the pitch, and you could see that every goal that was scored, everybody celebrated, every man. You know what I mean?
I was just going to say that. That's a great guide. So that's how I kind of judge. So when I watch TV now, if you watch a team scoring a goal, if I see them all celebrating together and the intensity that they all want to get to the goal scorer, and then they want to thank whoever assisted, to me that shows that the team, the change room, united. And like you just said there, it's a great point. Every time we scored, it was 10 boys.
Yeah,
it was 10 boys celebrating each other. So, like I said, there was a dressing room clown. There was plenty of characters in the dressing room. And obviously, God rest their souls, the two of them, Chico and Ricky, were just comedy gold, the two of them. So, like I said, everything just worked. Everything just went together, and it's like I said, it's a time I really, really reminisce fondly with.
You know,
who was the worst dresser?
Say, there was so many characters. How would somebody like Slaney come in and fit into that when he was a young boy? Because we see what he's like just now. But would that have been his ideal dressing room?
I think if Slaney had hung about, we would have seen the real Paul Slane, yeah. But he was in that transitional period where obviously he was trying to get fit. And we've seen him training a few times. We were like, because I'd seen him play at the start of that season, because we'd played Celtic, I think the third game of the season was at Ross County at Dingwall, and Slaney came on, and then obviously a few months later he came on to Thistle. So I knew what he's capable of. But he was never that mad. Never ever that mad. Because that change room would have been on fire if he'd been the way he was now.
There's a question for Kenny Boswell saying your 10k time in last year's from last year.
Probably.
Oh, that's right. Aye. I was doing the 10k in Glasgow, and I was about 7k or 8k in, and this guy started talking about Partick Thistle. I was like, mate, you're gonna have to beat it. I'm breathing at my backside here. I forgot about that. Aye, that's right.
Aye, he's a mate. I mean, I'll tell him to say hello.
He actually made me laugh. I was killing myself.
So who was the worst dresser in the changing room then? Who had the worst dress sense?
Worst dress sense. corner, I did a few suspect moments. I think he definitely got changed in the dark. Who else? There's a few boys that big ATS liked his gear, but some of it was out there. Try to think. There was nobody really. Stephen O'Donnell. Stephen, I sorted a few bad bits. I think we're walking as Mrs. dressed him. But there was no real standouts now.
Yeah, I've got one last one. It's just generally for your career. Who's the kind of the best, most talented player that maybe you've seen in training or in a real game that you played with and you played against?
I think Faddy's got to be up there. I was at Motherwell. Single-handedly could win games for you, and you went, obviously you see the kind of career he went on to have. I think the word special is used far too many times in the game now. But yeah, I think you could say Faddy at times was special. Young lad, another guy that sticks on me, a young lad called Alfie Mawson. He came on loan when I was at Wickham. He came on loan from Brentford. He was never going to get a game there. He came on loan in his first season playing first team football. He played every game of the season for us, and he was just unbelievable. We sold him to Barnsley, and now he's I think he's a £10 million player at Fulham, centre half. He nearly got an England call up as well. So they're the two that kind of stick out for me.
Yeah. And of the Thistle players for 2012, who do you think was the one that could have gone to the next level and really kind of make a good kind of measure for himself?
And honest, I'm not just saying this. Any of the ones in that squad could have went on to bigger and better things, and I think you can see most of them did. I think we were talking about that at Josie's testimonial, how well all the boys have went on and achieved. Pates went on and had still doing it. Went on done really well for Dundee United. Your ATS went down south. Sod go to Scotland caps. Looks like he's on the move again. Aye. So you can see most of the boys have wherever they've went and have played. Even Big Aaron Muirhead's went on and has had a good career. Still playing away. Foxy's been in and out. They even got a Scotland call up as well. So it was just a balanced squad, and I don't think there's no major stickouts. You had so much talent in the squad, like, and Ross Forbes came in, what a left foot he had, scored some important goals, and it was just Christy Elliott went out, is what he's still playing now. Is it Carlisle, is it now?
He's at Dundee. He signed for Dundee in January.
That's right. So
moved there.
Just a talented squad. I think it'd be unfair to pinpoint anyone.
Who was the player who set up your most goals then? I don't know the answer, but I remember.
Wee Lawless will probably stick his hand up for that.
Oh, he'll
probably
claim
either be.
He'll stick his hand up for anything, no, Stephen.
I nicknamed him Wee Shifty Lawless. Probably Lawless or Squiddy. Probably they two. Aye.
Good. Is that us?
Yeah, brilliant.
I would say so. Let him get away and enjoy the rest of his day.
More of the day in quarantine.
Aye, I know.
What can we do?
Thank you, Steph. That was brilliant. Cheers, man.
Guys, privilege. Take care.
Really appreciate it, Steph. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thanks very much, Steph.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Cheers. Thank you. Brilliant.
Cheers, Bye. Speak soon. Bye.
Bye.
Sorry for keeping you all waiting this morning. I had no idea.
That's all right.
We're still recording, by the way.
I was. Oh, sorry about that. I was there, sitting waiting for a link, but I've forgotten you did it last night.
or just in case you'd forgotten last night, Alan.
Aye, there was a lot of the Friday night's games night during the lockdown, so we were playing cards and drinking a lot of alcohol last night. You know,
fantastic. Have you
tried
got
a few different cocktails.
Has every evening got its own title then? So Sunday night's quiz night, Friday night games night. What's the Tuesday night then?
Oh, Tuesday night's anything goes night.
Oh, brilliant.
He's just trying to keep himself entertained. That's allowed.
Donald, you better finish this up now before this gets silly.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously, thank you to Steph for joining us there. I believe Donners will have the rest of his goals put up at the end of the show to revisit again. And we'll be back hopefully next week with...
Next week, gentlemen, we have another special guest coming on next week. All confirmed and booked. I'm way ahead of the game now. So next week, we'll be joined by... what we think? Let me give you a clue. He's probably... It's a shame. He's probably more remembered for one goal that he didn't score for Thistle.
Aaron Muirhead?
No.
One goal that he didn't score for Thistle?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That's obtuse, Raymond. We shall wait. We shall follow your Twitter and wait in anticipation for your announcement.
Or just tell us.
Or just tell us.
So it was an OG. Way back under. Well, it was under John Lambie. So.
Okay.
No.
Fine. Right.
Bobby Law's the clue.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, Andy Murdoch.
Yeah.
Yep, Andy Murdoch.
Yep.
Andy's going to join us next.
See if you call that an own goal with him.
Next Saturday morning.
He'll arrest you.
Right, he will.
Yeah, I know.
In fact, still Thistle's record transfer, hey?
So Andy will be joining us next Saturday morning.
So next Saturday morning,
Yeah,
Andy Murdoch and Callum Campbell.
Yeah, we'll talk to him about that, and I'm sure you better not tell Andy that. So yeah, and Andy will be on next week.
Brilliant.
So what you're saying is Thistle have got 7 days to go and break a transfer record, or he's going to be posting about that guy. Right. Okay. Right. On McCall, get signing.
Well, there you go. So be sure to get your questions in for Andy for next week. And hopefully we'll all be back nice and good. I don't really know what I'm saying anymore.
Thank you, Donald.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Donald.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers, Donald.
Bye, Donald.
Bye.